The roar of Dodger Stadium that night wasn't just loud, it was alive. The kind of electric noise that rattles the air, echoes off the bleachers, and makes your heart pound even if you're watching from miles away. It was Game 3 of the World Series, and the Dodgers were ready to show why they'd been built for this very moment. The Blue Jays had come in hot, with their young stars flashing confidence, their bats crackling with energy. But the Dodgers, led by their calm, relentless core, were not just chasing another trophy. They were defending a legacy, one swing at a time. The first few innings were tight, tense, filled with the sound of fastballs slicing through air and gloves snapping shut. Both teams traded zeros, waiting for someone to blink. And then came that fourth inning. With one out, Will Smith stepped into the box. The crowd began to buzz, knowing that the Dodgers' quiet catcher has a knack for clutch moments. The count went to 2-1, and then, crack, the bat connected. The ball soared high, carrying deep into the night sky above left center field. The Blue Jays outfielders turned and ran, but they didn't need to. Everyone in the stadium already knew. It was gone. As Smith rounded the bases, the noise reached a fever pitch. Shohei Ohtani leapt from the dugout steps, hands above his head, grinning like a kid watching fireworks. It was a moment of pure joy, unfiltered and real. That homer broke the deadlock and put the Dodgers up 1-0, but it was more than a number on the board, it was a shift in energy. You could feel the pressure tilt toward Toronto's side. The Blue Jays tried to respond in the top of the next inning, grinding out at bats, and they managed to tie the game with a sharp RBI single. The tension was back, but that tie wouldn't last for long. Because when the bottom of the sixth rolled around, Max Muncy stepped into the box, and everything changed again. Muncy has that kind of presence at the plate where time seems to slow. He stared down the pitcher, adjusted his gloves, and then waited. The first pitch missed inside. The second one, it was a mistake. A hanging slider, middle of the plate. Muncy didn't miss. The swing was short, compact, explosive. The ball shot off his bat like a laser, rising fast, slicing through the cool October air. The entire stadium watched as it kept going, and then landed deep into the right field pavilion. Another home run. Dodgers 3, Blue Jays 1. Ohtani was the first out of the dugout, pumping his fist, shouting toward Muncy as the slugger crossed home plate. The bullpen went wild, relievers lifting their arms, high-fiving, slamming the railing in pure elation. It wasn't just a lead. It was momentum, conviction, and belief wrapped into one thunderous swing. The camera caught Ohtani at that perfect moment, eyes skyward, hands lifted toward the night, smiling as if to thank the baseball gods themselves. It was poetic. Fans in the stands waved their towels, thousands of blue and white streaks blurring together in motion. You could feel the stadium shaking, literally vibrating with every chant of, "Let's go, Dodgers." From the bullpen to the bleachers, everyone believed. Every pitch after that seemed heavier for Toronto, lighter for LA. The energy had flipped completely. Even in the quiet between pitches, you could hear the hum, that collective heartbeat of a crowd sensing victory inching closer. When the cameras cut to Ohtani again, he wasn't playing that night, but his presence radiated leadership. He clapped, shouted encouragement, and pointed toward his teammates like a general commanding his army. The Dodgers dugout looked loose now, smiles all around. Freddie Freeman patted Smith on the shoulder, while Muncy sat on the bench, helmet off, nodding calmly, the look of a man who knew he'd done something special. Meanwhile, Toronto tried to regroup. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette talked quietly near the on-deck circle, trying to spark some late offense. But the Dodgers' bullpen was locked in. Every reliever that night came in throwing fire, crisp fastballs, wicked sliders, absolute confidence. They fed off the crowd, each strike greeted by a thunderous roar. The Blue Jays kept fighting, but the Dodgers' defense tightened like steel. Ground balls turned into double plays. Line drives found gloves. It was as if destiny had chosen a side. By the eighth inning, the Dodgers' bullpen, Ohtani among them, stood shoulder to shoulder, fists clenched, watching every pitch. The atmosphere was almost cinematic. When the final out of the eighth was recorded, Ohtani turned to the crowd, raising both arms in celebration. Cameras caught that iconic image, his smile wide, his eyes reflecting the lights of Dodger Stadium. It was more than baseball. It was joy. It was brotherhood. The ninth inning was all tension and relief. The Blue Jays made one last push, but the Dodgers closer shut the door with authority. 3 batters, 3 outs. Game over. As the final pitch was caught, gloves went flying into the air, players rushed the field, and the crowd exploded once again. The scoreboard flashed. Dodgers 3, Blue Jays 1. Ohtani sprinted toward the mound, laughing, hugging teammates. Smith was mobbed near home plate, and Muncy got a Gatorade shower from the bullpen crew. The local footage captured it all: raw emotion, unfiltered happiness, a team united by the dream of a championship. Even in slow motion, you could see the meaning behind every movement, the joy, the relief, the fire in their eyes. Up in the stands, fans cried, waved flags, and chanted until their voices broke. Some held up signs, "Believe in Blue." Others simply clapped, overwhelmed by the moment. It was a night that reminded everyone why baseball is magic. One swing can change everything. One roar can turn a stadium into a storm. Smith's home run had opened the floodgates. Muncy's blast had sealed the emotion. Ohtani's reaction tied it all together: the human spirit, the power of passion, the beauty of sport. When the players finally walked off the field, the cheers still echoed through Chavez Ravine. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. This was Dodgers baseball: powerful, united, emotional, and fearless. As Ohtani walked toward the dugout tunnel, he looked back one more time, up at the lights, at the crowd, at the scoreboard glowing 3-1. He smiled. For him, for Smith, for Muncy, for every fan in that sea of blue, this wasn't just another victory. It was a night to remember forever, the night the Dodgers took control of the 2025 World Series, one home run at a time.